Chapter 15. It was another hour before Walt and Mrs. Giovanni said goodbye, and the slow period of the afternoon came and went without incident. I was considering wrapping up my shift early when a familiar voice broke the afternoon malaise. "Not a good look on you, piano man. Just don't walk by any open flames with that amount of petroleum hair product." Tiffany, my personal barometer for all aspects of fashion and societal conformity. I looked to the door, and the afternoon sun lit up her purple strand of hair and highlighted her exceptionally short skirt. Black skirt, of course. "I was hoping you would stop by at some point," I said. "You didn't bring Chacho and his pet, did you?"
"Ha! I'm starting to prefer that name for him, and no, I managed to lose them. This place is pretty dead. Don't you get bored playing to an empty room?"
"Oh, you missed all the excitement. There was quite the kerfuffle this morning. Some punk wanted to start some trouble with our dear friend Mrs. Giovanni. I never figured out what his major malfunction was after all."
"Who would pick on an old lady? Seems a bit strange."
It seemed like she didn't entirely believe me. "I agree. It seems unlikely, but this prick was a genuine social deviant. Sure, he dressed to the nines, but obviously didn't get out much, and I seriously doubt he has ever done one shred of physical labor in his entire life." Tiffany looked a bit on edge suddenly.
"Tell me more about him."
"Well, he was pretty tall, expensive shoes, nice suit, but terrible hair. By terrible, I mean I hated the fact that it was nicer than mine. His name was Anan. Why? You think you know him?" Tiffany had gone a bit pale. Well, more pale than normal. She knew him. That voice in the back of my head was saying something again. Maybe it was shouting. They were connected, somehow. Parole officer, maybe? Old boyfriend? Current boyfriend? Boss? Then it clicked. "Let me guess. Based on your expression, nice poker face by the way, I'd say you know him fairly well, and you are not overly pleased he was here. If I had to put my money on it, I'd say your boss was checking in on your progress. Am I close?" Tiffany said nothing for a few seconds. I could tell she was processing something, calculating the ramifications of what she had just learned.
"Yes," she said finally. "He's my boss. And it is probably not good that he was here. Tell me what he said. Did you say anything to him?"
"Well, I threatened to kick his ass, so I think I made a pretty good first impression. He didn't really say anything about why he was here. He just wanted to talk to Miss Giovanni alone, and I wouldn't allow it."
"Idiot,"
she said mostly under her breath. She put her face in her hands for a few seconds as if trying to comprehend the enormity of my ignorance.
"Do not engage him, please, for your own sake. Just give him what he wants and let him leave. You don't understand what you've done."
"Hey, relax. You can always get a job here with me if you get fired. Plus, I didn't say anything about you, so I doubt he made any connections." A thought then occurred to me that he did seem to know about me already, like he did Mrs. Giovanni. Almost as if someone had given him a report. "Tell me, Tiff, did you happen to mention me to your boss?" She looked up at me for a second, then looked away and nodded once. I had never seen her so torn and distraught, almost like she was a real person or something, complete with feelings and a moral compass and everything. I was instantly more attracted to her. "Okay, so your boss stopped by to check on some things in your report. Why is that such a bad thing? Tell me again what you're looking for." "I thought you said you were looking for the person that was responsible for hospital cancer success. I'm not sure why that extends across the street to the coffee shop."
"It doesn't, or it shouldn't. I mentioned that you came to play piano on Saturdays in the chemo ward and that you worked across the street. That's all, I swear."
"Ah, except for the part about Mrs. Giovanni. You said you mentioned the magic coffee."
"Well, yes, I mentioned her only because she is part of the success story of the hospital. She beat cancer and said the coffee had something to do with it. Tell me, did Anan have any coffee?"
It was indeed starting to make sense. "Yes, he did," I replied. "Several cups, as a matter of fact. I think that proves he's a bit off. I smiled at my joke, hoping to bring her out of her panic, depressed state. What's the worst that he can do? Fire you? So what? Get a job doing anything you want. Don't waste another second doing the bidding of a person that you do not respect. Oh, Finn, she said, and came over and wrapped her arms around me. She laid her head on my chest and gently squeezed a hug out of me. You have no idea what he can do. You need to stay clear of him. Promise me you won't try to kick his ass if he comes in again. Sure, I promise, as long as he can stay away from my friends. She pulled away and looked up at me. Since when do you have friends? She said and smiled. Fair enough. I think you should let me buy you a burger, and you can tell me more about your dickhead boss that has something over you so powerful that you would give up freedom and happiness in exchange for fear and servitude. Oh, please, you dramatize a bit much. Most people in the world report up through some kind of sociopath-type boss who treats them like crap. What can I say? I like to eat and he pays well. There was some sadness and regret in her voice, but the things she said were overwhelmingly true. Even I was part of that existence not too long ago. Burgers, then?